Many evacuees from a wildfire near Fort Providence, Northwest Territories have made their way to Hay River. Emergency officials say the blazes came within 900 meters of the community. Our Western Canada Bureau Chief Hal Roberts joined me earlier with the latest on a number of wildfires impacting much of the West.
Hal, thank you so much for the time today.
You bet.
Now, are fire crews getting a handle on that wildfire, which has forced evacuations in the Northwest Territories?
You know, Teresa, fortunately, firefighting crews were able to get on top of that wildfire near Fort Providence thanks to cooler weather. Now, the hamlet, which has a population of around 700 people, had to evacuate Sunday and Monday as the fire continued to grow. The fire has burned an area larger than the size of Toronto, or around 890 square kilometers, and is still listed as out of control.
Well, and I understand that most of the community had to be evacuated to Hay River, which is around 180 kilometers away.
Yes, that's correct. A reception center has now been set up at the town's community center. Premier R.J. Simpson says things have been going fairly smoothly so far. Around 180 people have made their way to the evacuation center.
Now, it must be difficult for families that had to leave their homes and their belongings behind. What else is the government doing right now to help?
You know, Teresa, officials have evacuees on the side, and they're talking to a lot of the families and their needs right now. And officials say that a lot of people are eligible for a one-time payment of $800, along with an extra $400 for each dependent. The premier says the territorial government is not really discussing extra supports, as their main focus right now is rolling out more evacuation centers to help many of those who are fleeing the fires.
And are any other regions accepting evacuees from the Fort Providence wildfire?
Yes, anyone from Fort Providence who is in Yellowknife can register at the field house there. And officials with the city of Yellowknife say the building is open to any evacuees from Fort Providence. Now, officials said the evacuation centers are nearing full capacity right now, so services would be allocated based on the order of registration. They're also asking evacuees not to move between the evacuation centers. Now, Fort Providence is not the only region of the territory which is being threatened by the blazes, Teresa. The community of Jean Marie River has also been dealing with a wildfire since July, and the folks in that community are on evacuation notice right now.
And I understand that the wildfire smoke has made its way to you in southern Alberta. What's the air quality looking like over there?
You know, yes, Environment Canada issued an air quality warning for much of southern Alberta the last couple of days. It was listed as 7, which is nearing the high risk, as much of the wildfire smoke from the territories and northern Alberta have blown into our region.
And what is the wildfire situation in Alberta right now?
You know, Teresa, we currently have 47 wildfires burning here in the province. And so far this wildfire season, Alberta has experienced 1,067 wildfires, but fortunately, 1,020 of them have been put out. And about 83% are listed under control, 15% are listed as being held, and only 2% are out of control. And so far, close to 675,000 hectares of land has burned.
Do fire officials know what caused the wildfires in Alberta?
You know, you would think the majority were caused by lightning strikes, especially up north where there's so many of those tall pine trees. But that's not necessarily the case. According to Alberta Wildfire, 55% were caused by humans, which includes campfires left unattended, cigarettes being tossed out the window, or even heat from vehicle exhaust, which can ignite a blaze. 37% were caused by lightning, Teresa, and 7% are suspicious and are under investigation right now.
Well, Hal, thank you so much for that update.
You're welcome.
We'll continue to monitor the situation closely and bring more updates as the wildfires develop.